Well, to be honest, we were going to burst in Torrance. So if you look at our business and the acceleration that we had planned, we started, looking at our next kind of 5 years, and based on our business and the needs, particularly on the e-com side in the East Coast, quite frankly, we were going to burst out in California. And so we felt like we needed to investigate a secondary distribution center, and that's when we worked with Bastian and came up with the plans in Indianapolis. But it really came down to servicing our customers, both from a retail perspective, our consumers, as well as our customers on the wholesale side. We do about 75% of our e-com business is based on the East Coast. And so we felt like we really needed to be closer to that marketplace.
The AutoStore system has helped Puma better serve the customer because of the speed to market. We're competing in the world of Amazon, where everyone expects something within one day. And so getting the order out as quickly as possible is really the goal, and the AutoStore solution helps us do that. This AutoStore system is significantly faster, mostly due to the router software and the Blackline. We're having a 25% increase in our bin deliveries per hour. Was our preferred partner. We already had an existing working relationship with them from putting in the Torrance AutoStore, so we knew what they were capable of, and they were the right partner for this project because of the existing IT integration and the existing relationship and their significant amount of experience with AutoStore implementations.
The reason NFI Cal Cartage, along with Puma, chose Bastian Solutions, I would say the major reason is trust. Is the fact that at the end of the day, that there's a lot of companies that can sell a lot of different material handling equipment, but we trusted Bastian that they would deliver upon what they told us they would install in this facility.
Our main purpose for Indianapolis was starting with to service our e-com business. And so we needed to get closer to the East Coast. About 75% of that business is based on the East Coast. So we had to get closer to it. We also set it up to have high volume and low unit orders to be able to service that e-com business. And so what AutoStore in the grid provides us is the ability to do that very quickly. And so, as you know, with e-com, we surge at certain times. And you mentioned Black Friday is a crazy time in our business. So having the ability to use the technology in Indianapolis to be able to service those customers at a peak time like Black Friday is a huge benefit.
For the Indianapolis Distribution Center, the key customers are e-commerce, direct to consumer, as well as Puma's retail stores and a small segment of their wholesale business. So because this is primarily focused on e-commerce, there are a few times of year where we really have to be able to ramp up production. For example, Black Friday is a very common large sale that everyone knows is big e-commerce, as well as Cyber Monday. So the AutoStore solution and the flexibility that has been provided through the Bastian software allows us to increase capacity significantly by over 10 times from normal production to be able to meet that demand. When we were working with Bastian and AutoStore, we knew that this was going to be a dedicated e-commerce facility, and we would need to scale up for really big peak sales such as Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the AutoStore solution and Bastian with their technology has allowed us to be able to increase capacity by over 10 times to meet that demand.
The Black Friday challenge is we are right now a year in Black Friday. Since March 2020, we have pretty much every day a Black Friday business. So even 50% more we serviced over the regular Black Friday.
So our fulfillment operation starts with inbound. We receive advanced shipping notices from Puma for product that's coming in. It's received in, and then it's either directed to go to reserve storage into our rack or into the AutoStore directly and where it's inducted. Then the customer places an order. We receive those orders into our system. They're waived and sent to Bastian Software Exacta, which then works with AutoStore.
Product is unloaded onto a conveyor. It goes through a Cubiscan so that we know the size of the product. it gets put away into the auto store, is stored there, and then when we get orders, the orders are dropped down into the system. Someone picks the order into an outbound carton. It goes through a packaging sequence, goes through a labeling sequence, and then eventually gets kicked off to how we're going to ship it out. So the flow is very seamless from inbound to outbound. Our hesitancy with automation the first time is the fact that we knew that we had to make sure that our volumes that we were going to do in the future were consistent with what the automation can support. So that was very important to us. And the second one was making sure that our people were comfortable to be able to use the auto store and technology. So those were probably the two major items that we spent the most amount of energy on.
What we're realizing in Indianapolis, the ability for the black line, it's, first of all, it's fast, right? Super fast. There's no downtime, so it's, we can be active 24/7, and the bins are bigger, so it's helping us service our growing footwear business there in Indianapolis. So it's been great advancement onto what was already a success in Torrance in the red line.
The reason that we went with the auto store black line is because it was the next evolution of the red line, and when we looked at what it does versus the red line, and again, speed being the driving factor, we chose that the black line was going to be able to deliver that on a more consistent basis. Plus, there was some technology, as an example, the battery, how it is changed out in the black line versus the red line, that we made that decision to go with the black line. In the red line, the batteries are static in the robot, so it's very difficult to change out the battery, whereas the battery in the black line can be changed out in as quick as 10 seconds. So it's very much faster and a lot less downtime for the robot, so it keeps going and going and allows us, again, to achieve the speed.
The bin digging is certainly a constraint, but for us not, because AutoStore actually supports automatic slotting. That means 85% of our products actually get picked from the first two levels, which makes it really fast. If we have some ex-inventory and some closeout orders, we can actually drop our orders to the system overnight, and with the forecasting tool, the robots can dig out our product overnight, and then if we come in the morning, we can start picking. So it's really not a constraint for us.
I would say the benefits of this facility is the fact that it's much more what we would consider employee friendly, so that the employees are able to get an effective way to interact with the technology, so that there's not as much walking that's involved. The system really does a lot to support the business. And on the customer side, again, I continually talk about this speed, and that's probably the thing that they've seen the biggest advantage, is that if they place an order and it's next day ship, they get it, or if it's a 2-day ship, they get it as well. So we're better in terms of our consistency to match their requirements.
The AutoStore solution has allowed us to ship out more e-commerce orders this past November than we have in the history of the account. We also were able to do it with less labor and less training. The AutoStore solution also allows with the goods to person port for very quick training, so that we have less errors and better accuracy on our orders.
I would say the way the AutoStore supports our business is, again, that in relationship to California, we could probably do 4 times as much volume from an e-com perspective through this facility than we could out of California. So as an example, Black Friday, when the volume just spikes incredibly, we're able to get the product out of this building much quicker and satisfy the consumer.
AutoStore has significantly improved our operations by reducing our labor needs. The solution is very fast, and then the integration with the Exacta software allows for very simple and quick training for new associates.
So on top of being an extremely dense and compact system, AutoStore is a very safe system as well. The safety fencing they have around the entire perimeter of the grid, as well as various e-stops in place for picking port operators, makes it extremely safe to work around.
COVID disrupted our entire supply chain, right? I think the first thing that we saw is the fact that our stores were closed, and so our e-commerce business exploded. And so we needed solutions for that. So actually our Indianapolis DC allowed us to get goods to consumers during that time, which was a huge advantage for us. The second thing we've seen is coming out of the pandemic, I think the focus on sport, health, wellness, the casualization of America, athleisure, whatever you want to call it, has been a tremendous boom for our business. So as we've accelerated that growth, naturally that brings in some logistic challenges as well. So I think everyone in retail is going through that. Bastion Solutions is helping us with that, and certainly the innovation from AutoStore is helping us achieve some of our results that we're experiencing now.
In spite of COVID-19, Bastion Solutions were, again, very productive in their ability to pull this off. And we think that was one of the unique things about the organization, them coupled with AutoStore, training our people to be able to do it in this time when pretty much the whole marketplace shut down. We didn't have any solutions other than to make the facility to go live, because when we thought the volume was going to go down, it actually increased. So we needed this business or this facility to be able to support the business that it was going to have to ship. So it was very critical that we did go live during the pandemic period.
COVID, the pandemic, was a huge challenge for us. But I have to say, Bastion, during the installation process, did an outstanding job. So, we took all the precondition, what we have planned, during the installation, and also afterwards. Carl Cartage did an amazing job. So we didn't have any incidences here, which was a threat to us the whole time.
So I think when we looked at the new distribution center in Indianapolis, we had about a 5-year horizon when we were looking at the investment and the ROI. I think we've already seen in the last 12 months really that pay off because of the pandemic and the fact that our stores were closed. We relied on the new DC to service our e-commerce business, in which it was a huge advantage to have the black line from AutoStore, working at that time. Super important to our business now, but also as we look forward. So we kind of had a 5-year horizon, but we've already seen that benefit of that investment.
The AutoStore solution is a very flexible solution. So my advice to a future customer would be, don't build it out, what you need in 5 years from now, because it's really easy to adjust and to enhance. So for example, if you build like what we have here, a grid for 305,000 bins, right? So we have only 150,000 right now, in process, and you can easily add bins, you can easily add robots, you can easily add pick ports, you can easily add receiving ports. So it's a very, very flexible system, and therefore we have also, been able to choose AutoStore.
For a 3PL that's looking for an automated solution, it can be challenging to open up a greenfield operation with automation without having an existing customer base. So developing those relationships with your customers and bringing them these ideas and potential solutions is a great way to bring value to those customers so that they can have the opportunity to experience the benefits of automation.
The advice that I would offer someone that's looking at the auto store is that you need to make sure that you have as much good information of where your business is today and where's it going to go in the next 5 years. As difficult as that question is, you really need to spend a lot of time to make sure you get that answer, because that allows you to install the best auto store possible.
I think in our business, it's innovate or die. And it sounds brutal, but I really feel like you're either moving forward and you're using technology and automation and innovation to get better, or you're going backwards. And so AutoStore gave us that ability to do exactly that, get faster and more efficient using the black line and automation. And I think if you're a CEO and you're not looking at those advantages, I think you're crazy.